Sunday. So today is more about active rest than it really is about exercise. So I'm just going to do a quick little yoga sequence you can follow. If you have like T25 or P90X and they have the stretch videos for Sunday, you can use that. If you want to stretch on your own, you can use that. This is just a suggestion. So we'll start in child's pose. So knees nice and wide, let the belly hang heavy in between them, and just rest your forehead on the mat. And just take a couple breaths here. Really try to even out the breath, making the exhale as long as the inhale. Maybe for a count of 4 or 5. And then we'll come up onto all fours and do a couple cat-cow stretches. So you're going to inhale, booty up, chest up, look up, and exhale, round the spine. Really trying to draw that lower belly up to the spine. Inhale, looking up, and exhale, rounding the spine. Do a couple more of these on your own breath, whatever feels good. I sometimes like to come up onto my toes on the inhale, and then sometimes like to come up on my fingertips on the exhale. Just really get a deeper stretch in the back, whatever feels good to you. This is more about stretching and feeling good than anything else. Warming up the spine a little bit. On the next exhale, you'll tuck your toes and lift the hips up and back into downward facing dog. And maybe bend the right knee deeply, getting a nice stretch to the back of the left leg. And then bend the left leg deeply, getting a nice stretch in the back of the right. And then maybe pedaling them out, back and forth. Whatever feels good again. And then settle into the pose. Really press down through the palms of the hands. Up out of the wrist, shoulders away from the ears. Heels reaching towards the floor, hips reaching towards the sky. And just take a couple breaths here. Try to really settle into the pose. Resist the urge to fidget. And then leaving your left foot on the floor, we'll lift the right leg into three-legged dog. And bend that knee. You should be able to see your foot underneath your left armpit. And then just circle the ankle a few times to the right and a few times to the left. And we're going to swing it through to step in between our hands. And then place the back knee on the floor. Get a nice stretch through that psoas muscle, those hip flexors. If you want to leave your hands on the floor, you can. And bring them up to your knee or lift them all the way up to the ceiling. And breathe. And hands down from the foot. Step back into a lunge. Step back into high plank position. You all know those. And lift the hips into downward facing dog. Then same thing on the left. Lift the leg. Bend it so you can see it underneath that right armpit. And then circle the ankle a few times to the right. And to the left. And bring it up. Step that foot in front of the hands, and then set that back knee on the floor. Again, you can leave your arms here, bring them up to the knee, lift the arms up to the ceiling, trying to keep that front knee tracking over your ankle, protecting the knee, getting a nice deep stretch right here. You really want to set your hips nice and low. And hands down, step back into a lunge, and then step back to plank, and again downward facing dog. And again, lifting that right leg up to the ceiling. We're going to come into pigeon. So place your knee right here. You want to keep this foot flexed. And you want to keep your hips square. So if you want to put a block or something underneath your right hip to keep them even, you can. Then inhale and exhale, fold over that leg. Try to hold this for about a minute. I'm just going to show you a quick variation if that's too intense on your knee or your hip. You can also thread the needle this way, keeping the foot flexed, pressing the knee out, and then grabbing either underneath your thigh or on top of your shin. And that'll give it a nice stretch that way too. So hold that for about a minute. Whichever variation you choose. Step back for a second. And do it on the other side. Pigeon. Again, inhale. And exhale, fold over that leg. into plank, lifting my hips to down dog, and now jumper step to the front of the mat. Coming in to a nice forward fold. So inhale, lift the chest, reach the heart, and exhale, fold. And inhale, come all the way up to standing, and hands down, heart center. Now what we're going to do, just because it stretches out the thigh nicely, come into dancer's pose. You don't have to go into full dancer pose. I just want to get a nice stretch. Again, down that front thigh. You can stay here, or if you want to kick into dancer. Coming back slowly, same way you went into it. Stepping down, and same thing on the other side. Getting a nice stretch in front of that thigh. And slowly go into dancer. You want to look at one focal point. It'll help with your balance. And again, coming out of it the same way we went back in. Again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Getting a nice stretch on the back of those thighs. This one I want you to open your feet about hip width apart and grab the opposite elbows. You can also lay your arms completely loose. No tension in the neck, head is heavy. And just take a couple breaths here, really opening up those hamstrings. And then putting your left hand on the floor, bending that left knee deeply and twisting up to the right. And same thing on the other side, right hand down, right knee bends deeply, twisting up to the left. And hands down. This time we're going to come all the way back down. Roll onto our backs. And just get a nice easy twist with the legs. So hugging both knees into the chest and twisting them over to the right. Keeping both shoulder blades on the floor, opening the arms out like a T, maybe gazing over those left fingertips. And coming back center. Same thing over on the left, easy twist. Opening those arms up, looking over at the right fingertips. Maybe closing your eyes. Coming back center, giving your nice low back just a little massage, rolling them a couple times to the right, and then a couple times to the left. And then maybe giving yourself a nice rest in Supta Baddha Konasana, placing the bottoms of your feet together, knees fall out, maybe placing your hands on your tummy, on your solar plexus, or on your heart, and just feeling your breath move through your body. Stay here for as long as you like. This is a nice restorative pose. Another great one is putting your legs up the wall, just like that, against the wall. Staying there for as long as you like. And then once you feel like you've gotten some adequate stretching, give yourself a nice few minutes of Savasana, just corpse pose, laying on the floor. Palms up to the universe. Feet fall out. Nice deep breaths. Stay here for as long